This may be strange to hear for many of you, but there's sports and then there's the NFL. The NFL is king, and there's no way to dispute it. Strangely enough, that is both good and bad for broadcast networks, and also for streamers who have just gotten into the game. Why? Rights contracts. Let's dive into it. Here we go. I know. Why are you talking sports ball? Well, there's actually a reason. Money. And believe it or not, it's a pretty big part of what I do here on this channel. Sports are actually the last big draw for linear television. I mean, it really is kind of the last game in town. In fact, it's the singular thing that seems to be keeping many networks afloat, because it certainly isn't their programming or advertising revenues right now. The news departments at ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, they don't want to hear that particular truth, but it is 100% the truth. And looking at numbers from Showbiz Daily, Variety put together a handy chart showing that 75% of large audience viewing, and this is by a very wide margin, was the NFL. Looking at numbers from Showbiz Daily, Variety put together a handy chart showing that 75% of large viewing audiences, well, that was the NFL. Second best by a very wide margin indeed was college football, sitting at a meager 7%. Nothing is as consequential as the NFL. To put it a different way, and believe me, there are a lot of ways to put this, and also as a courtesy of this wonderful chart that we have here, the NFL had 115 games that were across the 10 million plus viewership. That's a pretty decent threshold. In fact, it had over 100 more games above 10 million than its closest competitor. Once again, college football. In other words, nothing else matters. Even in what would be considered a somewhat down year, with Prime's streaming exclusive of the Thursday night football program, the NFL still drew more eyeballs than any other live contest every single week. Viewership for the NFL is great for broadcasters who own the rights, until it isn't. Right now, it isn't. First of all, the NFL rights deals are incredibly expensive, so you're paying upfront or signing a deal upfront for programming for up to a decade, if you happen to be one of these linear networks or these new streaming services. In fact, just look at what YouTube just did, right? To secure the rights through 2023, they are paying for Sunday Ticket a pretty penny, a cool $2 billion a year, with the potential for it to be $2.5 million with additional fees. And this is on top of what was recently negotiated with all of the other networks and Amazon, $110 billion. And again, those contracts all run through 2023. So believe it or not, this deal from YouTube, it actually really hurt the broadcasters. Why? Well, for many potential viewers out there, the Sunday Ticket was just not feasible. It really kind of wasn't available. You needed to have DirecTV in some form or fashion, and you had to pay quite a pretty penny to get the package on top of that. And many viewers, of course, were not compelled to change their television provider for just one package, which oftentimes that's what you would have to do. So YouTube just changed all of that. And you'll actually now be offered two options as a viewer, which is kind of unique. You can get it as an add-on to your existing YouTube TV subscription at a fee, I expect, although I haven't seen one yet. Or you'll be able to add it as a standalone channel via their a la carte options in their premium channels area. Again, I don't know what the price is yet, but essentially both of the barriers that were created by DirecTV removed completely for consumers. So that's generating a lot of consternation by those 5 other rights holders, or at least I believe it probably is. Because this could really, truthfully, change the landscape and remove a lot of value for those other 5 broadcasters. And consider this, some of them are actually providing the coverage for the Prime Ticket option. And for one last piece of perspective, I'll say this. when just comparing the finals or the championship event for each of these other sports. You have to add up the total of all of the others, all of them, to beat the NFL's Super Bowl. In other words, a total of 14 other leagues were required to topple the numbers of the Super Bowl at about 100 million people. It's absolutely insane. See, the rights packages will likely continue to evolve going into the future. And that'll happen for all sports, of course, because everybody has to renegotiate every once in a while. But the only one I think that will continue to have this level of staggering growth, at least financially, is going to be the NFL. I can almost guarantee that. But hey, what do you think? Will the NFL continue to dominate for the next decade? I mean, that's how long this package is for. And did the recent Prime Ticket package deal, specifically with YouTube, did that actually hurt the other rights holders, as I suggest? And finally, is there any other sport that's capable of taking the NFL's crown right now? No. Oh, and by the way, where do you think the WNBA fell on this list? I'll give you a hint, wasn't even on the list. Anyway, feel free to answer those questions down below. Hopefully we can have a nice conversation about this one. Even if you're not a sports ball fan, you can see there's a lot of money here at stake, and a lot of these rights holders might have something to complain about. But I'd like to hear what you think, so use that comment section down below. Let's talk about it. And of course, support other independent creators out there, people who cover similar stories. There's a lot of them. We've got my friends over at Black and White Sports. You have Sports Wars over there as well, and a few others that I will drop into from time to time. They've got great information and great insight, and of course, wonderful coverage of the things day to day. They could use that support, which means subscribe, hit the like button, and all the normal things that you would do for me. And with that, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it is good hygiene. And until next time, bye. And don't forget to check out my Rumble at rumble.com/CultureCasino.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts. Yay! Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.